Earlier today I was looking at other Yorick mains and I found this Korean Yorick main who played a really good Yorick. He peaked Grandmaster in Season 12 and is in my opinion one of the best Yoricks in the world. So I thought it'd be fun to compare our playstyles and our differences and go over what is better or worse. Before we start, quick introduction, I'm Slugdog, an OC Yorick main and the only Yorick in the world to end Challenger in Season 12. Quickly before the video though, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe, and if you don't, dislike it. Anyways, let's just get into it. So the biggest similarity we have is that we both typically like lethality. I run a lot more damage heavy builds, especially more lethality based. This is in order to switch the power from my Q to ghouls, and so that I can burst the enemy a lot quicker to get kills faster and unexpectedly. On his climb to Grandmaster, he also played primarily Eclipse with Comet before it got nerfed shortly. Basically, Eclipse lets him poke really far away and abuses the fact that people don't understand how Yorick ghouls work and how much damage it really does. I still play primarily lethality to this day, however nowadays he experiments with a lot more random stuff and we can see that he just likes playing different fun Yorick builds. Another thing is that we're both insanely good at playing pure Yorick. What I mean is that very niche mechanics I thought I only knew, he utilized very effectively too. Some examples being the release mid and mid fight for high DPS, and also screwing with men in AI under tower. Likewise, even though we both are very good at Yorick, we both play way too aggressively early game and fall for really dumb mistakes. And then somehow solo kill the enemy later on anyways. Moving on though, that's our two biggest similarities. Now onto the differences. The biggest difference I found, which is really interesting, is that he teamfights a lot. Compared to me, he teamfights a lot more and is willing to join skirmishes and to try to help out his team. I'm very cautious and aware of my own strength and like getting myself ahead through CS and denying the enemy minions rather than helping my team. I think it's a difference of region and skill though. I know if I get ahead, I can carry most of the games, and I think that the Korean Yorick main prefers getting his teammates ahead for team fighting, that way his teammates have a higher chance of carrying. But nonetheless, he never really goes for hard sit pushes, meanwhile, I stick on the sideline like glue and try to go for T2 towers and inhibitors, taking mine and the enemy jungler's resources. This is pretty cool because it proves that Yorick may not be the best team fighter, but you can certainly play in a way to be supportive towards your team. I highly encourage watching him if you prefer that style of Yorick with team fighting rather than the 1v9 playstyle that I do with split pushing. Another add-on to the fact that he team fights a lot is that his jungler seems to help him out a lot more as well than the average top laner. I also think this is a regional thing where Korean players probably know that Yorick has really good gank setup. I just find this neat because as Yorick, I hate it when I get ganks because most players don't know how to gank for Yorick. Another difference is that he generally doesn't get any kills at all pre-level 6. I usually get quite a few more than he does, just because I utilize the fact that Yorick 4 ghouls engage is really powerful. This isn't too surprising considering he always tries out different stuff, like different runes and itemization, which limits his ability to kill the enemy. I always think of something like Conqueror First Strike, something really aggressive that will increase my damage. Meanwhile, some games he bloody goes Unsealed Spellbook. Another difference is that his kills are a lot more generic as well. What I mean by that is, I go for really aggressive and cheesy kills that I know I can pull off compared to him. Most of his kills are finishing off half HP or lower HP enemies, catching the enemy when they make a mistake, or skirmishing with his team and getting the last hit. I do really aggressive plays like diving the enemy from 80% of full HP and 4 stuff like fighting 4 people. Ultimately, he goes for safe, consistent team-oriented plays, while I'm more like a guns blazing kind of guy. Finally, I'll leave it. This is the biggest difference, is that this Korean Yorick main has the sexiest voice ever.
오케이, 좋아요.